Coach, all week you've talked about on the post-game ending of the last game and then on your show last night about effort, about resetting. Seems like you were sending some messages to guys, keeping guys in who were playing hard. But just talk about that tonight and the effort that you got from guys and maybe some of the messages you sent.
Yeah, we just have a standard that we have to live up to, and we're not, and we have to. And so we'll keep fighting until we do. That's it.
Kind of along those lines, Mark, you kind of lit into BG there with about 8 minutes left, called the timeout. He obviously didn't play again. That's about as fired up as I've ever seen you since you've been here. Are you intentionally taking a different demeanor with this team? Because it seemed like you kind of stayed with that the rest of the game.
We just have a lot of growing that we have to do right now, and we'll grow. We have good guys. We have competitive guys. We don't know really what it means to compete yet, which is terrifying. But we'll learn. We're going to learn. We're going to learn. We're going to learn fast.
Hi, Coach. 27 assists tonight. That ties the season high. What do you attribute that to, and what did you like from the ball movement?
Colin Chandler had a great night for us at 8-1. That's really impressive. He was at 8-1-1 and was a big catalyst for us. I thought our guys managed the zone and the changing defense pretty well. I think they, we got stagnant a little bit, but they did a nice job trying to make a play for each other, and we just needed to carry over into more competitive games.
Mark, you moved Trent back into the starting lineup tonight. I know the ankle injury maybe kind of stunted the early part of his season, but what do you like from Trent tonight, and maybe what can kind of be stretched out to some of those high major games like you mentioned?
I like Trent every night. Trent's not a perfect player. There's some things that are complicated for him, areas of the game where he struggles, but he's all in. He's fully invested. He's going to give everything that he's got every time on the floor, and he's pretty effective. And so I thought he was good tonight. I thought he gave us good looks. I thought he was aggressive. I thought he probably had our best defensive play of the first half. We finally got a third defender engaged, and so Trent is he's a really important part of this team, and he's got a chance to grow into a terrific player and a great leader, and I'm proud of him, and just like all our guys, he's trying to figure it out.
What did you see from your defense tonight, and maybe how did it look different from the last couple of games?
I was disappointed in our defense tonight. I was disappointed with the fouls. I was disappointed with the late gap help. I was disappointed with our on-ball ball screen pressure. We need to be way more up the line, way more aggressive to turn a guy around rather than let him just kind of pick us apart. I felt like I felt like our third defender was hit or miss, and they did a nice job spacing the floor where the floor was really overloaded. So you just have your third defenders just naked on the weak side, and we have to make that play. And we didn't tonight for the most part. So there's a lot of room for us to grow. We got to clean up the fouls. We got to clean up the gap help. We got to take some pride in keeping guys in front of us. If we're going to be a really good team in competitive games, those are spaces where we have to grow. And this group will. I love these guys. We just need to get better there, and we will.
Going back to the not knowing what it means to compete, we heard all summer fall about how competitive those practices were with talent on talent. Was that overblown at the time, or is that just not translating to games? And if not, any idea why?
It hasn't translated. And so it hasn't translated yet, but it will. Yet is a powerful word, guys. It's the best word in the English language. It's 3 letters that are super powerful, and it hasn't translated yet, but it will. It will. We're going to be so proud of this team. We're not yet. But we will be, and that competitive spirit, man. I've done a poor job of getting that out of our guys in games, which has been monumentally frustrating for me. But we'll get it out. We're gonna find it, or we're gonna die trying. And so it's there. We just got to get it, and we got to find a way to do it, and we got to get guys outside of themselves, and we got to get guys living and dying for this team and this gym with this fan base in these games, in competitive games, when things go bad, we have to be able to tap into that. And so far, I've done a poor job eliciting that from our guys. To nobody's more surprised about that than I am. But that's not gonna stand.
Mark, 22 points for Jasper tonight, led the team with a plus 30 in the plus minus category. Did you feel like tonight was any kind of major growth moment for him and just his development throughout the early course of this season? What have you seen from Jasper?
I'm proud of Jasper. I mean, he's trying. It's a steep learning curve. I think he's trying to take in all the information the best he can. I thought his very first play in the game, I thought he had some force downhill, which has been a really important part of him. And again, it's got to translate into better games. Like there's no mystery what we have to do. We have to translate some of these things into more competitive games. But I'm proud of his progress and his whole heart's in this. And I expect big things from him as we move forward in the season, just like all of our guys.
Mark, you talked about finding the competitive spirit. Have you talked to any individual players about driving that from within the team, or does that just have to happen naturally?
I've talked to all of our individual players about that on a regular basis, and we'll continue to have those conversations.
Mark, Otega tonight had a big game. You've talked about how it has to happen in more competitive games. But at one time, I saw him gather the guys around him. It was getting pretty intense in that huddle. What did you think of his effort tonight and maybe taking steps towards leading some of those other guys?
I thought he was great. I thought, really one of the only good things we saw coming out of the first half was he had Lattimore at 1 for 10. And he was pretty much solely responsible for that. And this is a guy that averaged 20 points a game. It's a good player. They run a lot of actions for him. And Otega kind of took that on and said, hey, I'm going to make sure that we handle this. And I think he's really trying to rally the guys. He's trying to show some leadership. He played well on both ends of the ball tonight. I thought Otega is, he's really important for us. And he's carrying a big load, and he's got to. That's what you do. That's your job, and he's going to continue to grow into that. We need him to be great moving forward. Thanks, guys.